It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first Coaches Show of November. Turned the calendar, and then we get an extra hour of sleep tonight. I think I like November already, but we're talking playoff football. And wow, what a week it has been for the Hillcrest Comets and the Fergus Falls Otters. Those are the first two interviews we have today, and each team played 2 games this week. Each team got 2 wins this week, and each team is headed to the state playoffs, to the quarterfinals coming up this week. So Corey Fry is going to kick us off today, to use a football term. Corey's the head coach of the Comets, the undefeated Comets, who are now the Section 4 9-man champions. Congratulations, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
I was trying to think the last time, was it 2000 when they, or has there been one since?
As far as section championship, it was 2016 was the last time.
Okay.
Yep, so that was Sean Newman's.
Sure.
I mean, Sean McGuire.
McGuire, yep.
And Kyler Newman.
Yeah. Okay, so 2016, was that recent? My mind goes back to what I remember best, and that's the old days. You know how that is?
Okay.
I can tell you who won the 1965 World Series, but not last year. So, well, that's great just to get back there to the Fargo Dome and play as you did. And to get there, you had to beat Rothsay last Saturday.
Yeah.
And the Tigers, that's a good rivalry. And you had a battle starting that game, but boy, once you got control, you took control.
Yeah. A lot of emotions in that game. 2 teams that know each other very well. It seems like we always end up facing off against each other, no matter if it's a 7-on-7 tournament or if it's a home game or a playoff game. Coach Meyer knows how to play us. We know how to play them, and I think they had a really good game plan coming out right away. And we missed a few tackles in space, and they were able to capitalize on it and put some points up really quick against us. But like you said, we were able to kind of weather the storm a little bit. And once the second quarter happened, we were able to kind of really put up some points in bunches.
Boy, and that has been kind of the trademark of this team. You can score quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got a lot of weapons out there. And we talked a lot about Ethan Swedberg, who's the guy that makes you go, obviously, at your quarterback spot. And we've also been able to highlight your receiving core a little bit. But, boy, I'll tell you what, that receiving core has really progressed to a point where Ethan's got so many weapons out there. If I'm a defensive coach on the other side of the ball, I'm like shaking my head like, what do we do,
Yeah, and that was one of the things this week against Border West. We seen a little bit of a different look from them. Usually they're a strong cover 3 team that plays the slant windows really hard. But I think with Ethan's athleticism, especially in our first game, they had to go to more of a spy look and then try to man up against our receivers. And like you said, we have some guys on the outside, and I think right away in that first series when Sean Berge went 80 yards, I think that kind of really, forced them to have to go to something they didn't want to go to either. But it's nice to have weapons.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm going to give you the scores here: 50-22 over Rothsay on Saturday, and then 35-14 over Border West in the Fargo Dome on Thursday.
Yep.
Sean Berge, you mentioned the 80-yard play. What kind of routes are you using Sean on? He's your deep threat, obviously, but it's not your only deep threat. I think you've had some other big play guys, too.
It's weird to think Sean and Drew Fisher both are kind of our utility guys, so they run every route in our concept. And so you'll see them both line up in different areas. If we feel that we need to take the top off of a defense, we'll just see where matchups are. Sometimes you do have to go to your matchups where you think you have an advantage and take advantage of it. And so you'll see Sean move around in different spots. You'll see Drew move around in a lot of different spots. And then, one thing that really opened this game up was for us was, unfortunately, Griffin House got hurt in the game. Nothing serious, but it took him out of the game. And that's one of our big threats over the middle. But the huge unknown, and in playoff games, is next man up.
Right.
And Isaac Hamilton was able to come in and make some really big catches over the middle. And he's the one that really kind of blew the game open, kind of over the middle of the field. He caught one really good catch that was kind of behind him in traffic that really kept a drive going. And then Ethan found him again over the middle of the field for a nice big touchdown in the third quarter there too. So,
yeah, I listened to that game with Jason, and he had quite a third quarter.
Yeah.
Isaac had 4 catches, 89 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Nice to have that next man up really step up like that.
Yeah. Yep.
This passing game, I think of the NFL, you always hear progression. The quarterback has a progression. He's looking for his receivers, first look, second look, third look. Does that happen at the high school level, or are your pass routes predetermined? Like on this play, I'm looking for Berge.
Well, I think every concept you have what your hot read is. We're looking to go with the ball, but we also teach what is the next level. Where does our eyes go? And having a senior quarterback with the tools that Ethan has, we're able to kind of open it up a little bit more to utilize all of our receivers.
And I haven't seen your team play. I've listened to a lot of your games, but is Ethan, I know he's an excellent passer, excellent runner, good decision maker. How is he at throwing on the run, and how are his receivers once they see Ethan scrambling, they're kind of running to an open spot or trying to get there?
Yeah, I think our receivers actually get a little excited when Ethan starts to run around because they know his eyes are still downfield. In that game, Border West had us backed up pretty good. I believe we're on our own 15. Ethan was able to get to the outside and ended up finding Maverick Peterson on the sideline for a phenomenal catch over there. And so a lot of our guys, like our receivers, take pride in coming back to the ball. And also when they know that Ethan is taking off, they turn around and block. They're willing blockers on the outside too.
Boy, that's nice too, right? Like those wide receivers that can block.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of blocking, your line. I mean, we don't talk about the line a lot. They're the forgotten heroes, but give them some love here, Corey, because they're giving him the time and it's working out.
Yeah. Dane Larby has really been kind of the big piece on our line. He's our center. He makes a lot of calls up there. And he's able to really kind of give us a lot of time back there. But then you have Luke McGuire, who steps up really big. He's one of our guys that you can just plug and play him anywhere. And then Xander Knutson is another really hard-nosed, good blocker up front. And so you see those guys really talking it through and getting it done up there.
I'm marveling at the numbers here, okay? I mean, Ethan was 22 for 28 against Border West for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. Plus, he carried the ball 12 times for 55 yards, 5 total touchdowns in that game. I mean, those are incredible numbers for high school football.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And not only your offense, but, the defense. Border West is a pretty good offensive team. They've got some weapons, Owen Deal and Dylan Grebner. They're tough players.
Yeah.
Make some things happen. Have had a very good season. And your defense had to step up. And one of the keys in any game, but especially at playoff time, is getting your offense back on the field. Your defense has to make the stop and winning that territorial advantage. How would you assess your defensive performance against the Bucks?
One of the biggest things against Border West that we've, especially this year, we found success in is controlling the edges. Border West is a phenomenal team in, getting to the outside, using their speed. And so what we've really told our guys is we need to make sure we control the edges as far as what we do and how to force them back inside. And this year, we're fortunate enough to have speed on the outside. We were able to have talented enough guys. Jerry Olson this year, phenomenal guy to be able to play that DN outside linebacker spot, really put a lot of pressure on them as far as just being able to control the strong side of our line. And then Griffin House was another one, just being able to play out in space. And then when he went down hurt, we had a number of guys come in at that spot and be able to kind of really take that position on. So we were able to put a little bit of pressure on them.
Well, the defense gets more important as the playoffs go on, I know,
Yep.
because you're going to see some tough offensive teams here. Well, you have already, but you get to state, there's not going to be any easy opponent out
Right.
there. So as you look at the next potentially 3 games and playing the top teams around the state, how do you go about preparing? Is there enough out there, through the internet where you're going to be able to get a good look and a good evaluation on your opponents?
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there. I think the way our state brackets are set up, you're able to see and get to know what teams are out there and what they look like. The biggest thing is matchups and then being able to play situational football and just being able to capitalize on other teams' mistakes.
Yeah, that's a huge
Yep.
key. The turnovers and the penalties. Forget the penalties.
Yeah.
We don't want any of that, right?
That's for sure.
The pre-snap penalties especially.
Yep.
Yeah. So you, of course, have Ethan, and you have all these great receivers. How is the running game progressing? In addition to Ethan, who's your
Yep.
biggest threat there, but Eli Walkup has been carrying the ball for you.
Yep.
What do you like about what you're seeing as far as a progression in the running game?
I think that's one of the conversations you and I have been having, this whole season. Having Eli Walkup back there carrying the bulk of our workload as far as running, he's doing phenomenal, especially as a ball carrier and protecting the ball. But one of the things, as a freshman being back in the backfield playing in these big games, Eli just has a sense of where to be. Especially in our pass game, he's that next guy, especially if teams are bringing pressure. He picks up a blitz pretty quick. He knows where to go, how to do it. And you add Ethan in that frame as a runner as well. And so we're pretty balanced when you think about it. And so we're pretty confident in our run pass option there. But being able to capitalize on it is one of those things. And so once we get in the playoffs, you'll see a couple more guys get some touches just because we got to keep guys fresh
Right.
and moving. So
Special teams
Yep.
right now?
So special teams was key for us. Kean Stender was really big and especially in both these games in the playoffs and pinning teams back deep on kickoffs. And Xander Knutson, when we've had him come out, especially in one of the key drives in the Fargo Dome, he was able to pin Border West inside the 10, and so that was phenomenal.
Listening to that game, I knew you were on the Fargo Dome, but it sounded like you sold out the Fargo Dome. You had a lot of fans there. They were making noise for you.
It was nice. One of the things, I think a lot of games, you have a natural barrier when you play on fields where there's a track.
Yeah.
And so when you have the teams, the fans right on top of you, it gets loud. And so it was a lot of Comet fans there. And it was really nice being that first game because all the other teams were there watching the games. And it reminds you of being a little kid. You get a lot of the oohs and ahs and everything out there. So, yep.
Awesome. Well, the whole Hillcrest community is pretty excited. I know that. And you'll have a great following no matter where you play. And we find that out today. Who you play, where you play, we'll know later today.
Yep. So we have a coaches meeting, and then it'll be a coaches poll to figure out the 1 through 4 within our state bracket and figure out where we go.
What do you think? I mean, you're unbeaten. You got all these great numbers. You're in a tough, section. Where do you think you'll end?
Yeah. So it'll be nice if we end up in kind of that 2 or 3 seed. where we could end up in Buffalo, where it's not that far of a travel.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the places where a lot of us go. But if we end up in the 1 or 4 seed, we'll end up at Southwest State playing on Marshall Field. So both are really good places to play. But one of those things is travel. Travel is something. So we want to make sure we end up in the best possible place we can.
I was thinking maybe you could just play at the Otter Stadium field.
Hey, that would be nice too.
Yeah, I don't think they'll give you that travel advantage.
Yeah.
But, well, great year, Corey. Just outstanding, and hopefully we can have you on next week and talk about a win and heading to U.S. Bank. But I know your kids are motivated. You've got a bunch of seniors. And what a difference that makes, huh? Yeah.
It makes a lot of things easy, especially for us developing our younger guys. Our seniors know what they need to do, and they're able to kind of be coaches on field. And so one of the biggest things, we were able to get our JV guys in the last few minutes of the game at the Fargo Dome, and you seeing nothing but excitement from our seniors on the sideline for all those guys getting playing time. So it's really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, great job, and we'll look forward to Thursday finding out who you play, where you play, when you play, and we'll be there.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right. Corey Fry, the head coach of the Comets, say we're going to give away a $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate. The Coaches Show presented by Viking Cafe. And you're probably wondering, how do we get eligible to win that thing? Well, you text keyword Viking to 321-1926. 321-1926. And at the end of the show, we'll see who gets that gift certificate and the good food that goes along with it. For now, though, we'll take a break, and we'll come back, continue our football conversation with Chris Grabowska. The Otters are also section champions in Section 8 4A, and we'll find out how they did that after this break on the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you love trucks, this ad is for you. At Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, you can save up to $12,000 on select Chevy Silverado trucks, or take advantage of 0% APR for 3 years. Prefer leasing? Lease a Chevy Silverado for as low as $299 per month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Chevy, together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number? I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
In Fergus Falls Otters, defending your championship from last year. That's always fun.
It is. It is. I'm just so proud of our kids. We are being held together by duct tape and Band-Aids and everything else you can imagine right now, but they found a way to get it done, and it was really fun to be part of that game. You know, my hat's off to Becker too. It was a game where both teams really executed at a high level, and our kids were resilient and found a way to win.
Well, Coach Fry was talking about next man up, you know, and at this point of the season, you're going to have a lot of people coming up in situations, filling in and doing their job out there. And we've talked about that, about how you see kids get better, improve from week one to this point, and now you have confidence in using them, and you've had to, like every team has.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Our kids, they're getting better every week. Our younger kids are able to learn the plays and learn their roles, and they're ready to step in this week if they really need to. And, with Isaiah going down, we had another sophomore quarterback in Luke Warner. He was like, Coach, if you have to put me in there, I'm ready to go. I love hearing that kind of stuff. And we had a sophomore lineman too, ready to go at right guard this week if we needed him to go. And so we got guys stepping up everywhere. We really do.
27-26 last night against Becker, so more on that in a minute. But you got to that game by beating Detroit Lakes 42-21 last Saturday. Just touching on that for a minute, you had a huge halftime lead there, and the Lakers fought back and made you work for it.
Yeah, they really did. That was just kind of a weird game, in a way. We had a lot of guys going down, and we got the big lead, so we just kind of made it a point where we're going to take our starters out and get our young guys some reps, and that's kind of what happened. And Detroit Lakes left their starters in, and which I don't blame them for doing so. And, it was just we had to get through that game and grind it out too. So it's just like every other one. So we got the job done.
You had a couple of pretty big highlights in that one. Micah Johnson had, an 85-yard interception, 95-yard interception return for a touchdown in that one. That doesn't happen every game.
Nope. Speaking of Micah, everybody wants to be like Mike right now. We play that song. But he is, hats off to him. He came out his senior year of football, didn't play since his freshman year. He finally came back out, and that kid is flying around right now. He's confident. He's making plays. He's a stud, and I just could not be more proud of him too. He's a great example for our kids in Fergus Falls to look up to. This is why you play every sport, and couldn't be more prouder of him.
I love three-sport athletes, guys, that go out there no matter what the season. And my favorite interviews with kids over the years, Chris, is when I ask them what their favorite sport is when they're a three-sport athlete, and you know the answer.
Yep, the one I'm in right now.
Exactly. And I love that.
Yes.
That's the way it should be, right? That's the way it was when you were a kid, right?
Exactly. That's the way it should be, and I think we're working our way towards that. There's not too many kids left that are not three-sport athletes, but we're going to continue to work on them and make sure that they're all three-sport athletes.
Yeah, I know there's specialization out there now, and that's a whole nother show to talk about
exactly
that. But Caleb Froning had a big night for you against DL, 115 yards on 11 carries. We're talking over 10 yards a carry there. Continued his good performance last night. Just what a reliable, dependable guy, and we've talked about it all year about the yards after the contact. I mean, he's just so tough to bring down.
He is. He's a special player. He's just once-in-a-lifetime generation talent that you don't get to see very often. He's kind of a throwback. He runs the ball hard, and last night I really wish that, as a coach, you go back and you replay the game in your mind, and we kind of struggled to move the ball in the second half a little bit. I'm just like, we should have stuck with the run game. And that's what we did on that last drive in the game, and that's how we were able to ice the game. And but yeah, he's special. He runs hard, yards after contact. He gets it done for us week in and week out. So love him.
Well, in that second half that you're talking about, just hand off the ball because number one, Caleb's dependable, but number two, by the second half, that Becker defense or whoever you're playing, they don't want to try to tackle Caleb anymore. They've been doing it all night. They're worn out, and it's like, oh, no, here he comes again. You get into their head a little bit, and you've got the advantage there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't know if they were worn out, but I think it was more our kids just had the will to win. And that's what happened last night. They had the will to win, and they found a way to get it done. So proud of them.
So what's the deal on the extra point attempts last night for both teams? I mean, there were a lot of weird things, a couple of blocked kicks and a bad snap, which, well, kind of ended the game for Becker when they couldn't even attempt the kick that would have tied it.
Yeah, it was a weird night. You know, we had some guys that on our PAT that couldn't play last night, so we had to put different guys around, and we had to move guys around and put different guys in, and yeah, it was kind of fly by the seat of your pants for us. And I'm not sure, I can't speak for Becker, but I think we'll just call it our kids made plays when they needed to, and they came up big and when it mattered most.
That game last night, as I listened to the second half, both teams were moving the ball. You wound up with 387 yards. They had 361 yards, according to Mark's stats. Pretty close balance there between the two teams. It seemed like you'd score, they'd score. You'd score, they'd score. Each team answered all the way through the game. They had the lead at 20-19. You got the touchdown to take the lead back, and then you got the 2-point conversion, right?
Yes, we did.
So what went into that thought process for you, and how big it turned out to be that was a really big play.
Yeah, first of all, I just think it was really fun to be part of a game where both teams really executed at a high level. And, I mean, really, both offenses moved the ball at will all game long. I mean, other than a couple lulls for both teams, and it was just really fun to be a part of that. And then we knew we had to go for 2 to get it to 7. So that's really kind of...
To get it to 8.
Yeah, 8 points, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 8 points. And we knew that we could execute that play.
Or no, to 7, you're right. My mistake, sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was 7.
Yeah, you're right. My mind is shot. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're all working on a little sleep here. But anyways, we just knew that we could execute that play. That's something we've been working on since August, and we just wanted to do it, and we got it done.
I'll bet the kids were probably excited to try to go for 2 there because they're usually kicking, right? So.
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, usually our kids want to kick the ball, but our kids are like, Coach, whatever play we call, we'll go out there and give it our best shot, and that's what they did.
And then Becker scores, and they got the bad snap on the extra point. And I'm sure, had they been able to get that snap where it needed to be, did you have an all-out block coming on that, or what were your plans there?
Well, yeah, I mean, we made a couple of in-game adjustments, and Coach Tilke, he did a good job of, getting some height in there. I think we moved Trenton Juilliard inside to try to get the block up the middle, and so I think really that adjustment put a lot of pressure on your snapper. And then you got guys coming after it. It's a high-pressure situation, and we just made a big play when we needed to, so really proud of our kids.
Parker Tilke, another big night for you last night. Mason Oland had a big night for you offensively and defensively. A lot of kids just stepping up, doing what they need to do if the Otters are going to keep winning, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we got players making plays all around right now. Parker on both sides of the ball, Micah Johnson on both sides of the ball. Trenton Juilliard steps in last night at receiver. He had a good game, and Mason's always going to be Mason. These kids, they love playing football, and they wanted another week, and they made sure of it.
You've got to just be really excited about the number of players who are producing for you in the passing game, because Pee Wee's got a lot of options out there, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And as you get into the playoffs, I don't know how many of these teams, and maybe they've seen more passing, but your passing attack could be a real benefit for you in the playoffs.
Yep. The goal is to always be balanced, and Pee Wee does a great job of running our offense. He had another big night last night. I just still can't believe we're sitting around talking after the game like, we really have a sophomore quarterback. Like, I think he got his license a couple of weeks ago. And so, I mean, that's just a lot of credit to him, the type of athlete and type of kid he is. He's just calm back there. He directs our offense at a high level and distributes the ball really well. So, yeah, moving forward, I mean, we just going to continue to do what we do and see what happens.
You mentioned how fun it was last night to coach in that game with both teams executing well, and you had a lot of long, sustained drives.
Yep.
And you love the big play and the quick hit touchdown, but boy, when you need to get points and don't want the other team to have the ball, you want to keep the clock running. You want a 6 or 7 minute 80-yard scoring drive that winds up in 7 points for you, and you did that last night consistently.
Yeah, we did. And, you know, the win at this time of the year, that's what you got to do.
Yep.
You got to move the ball, long drives, and you got to really punch it in when you get down there too. And that's what we did last night. And we were able to run the ball. That's another thing you got to do to win this time of the year, and play defense. And I thought defensively, we really stepped up when it mattered the most, and we got some stops. I mean, talk about that third quarter, really, where we had the bad punt. Josh made a great play to get that off, and they had great field position to really tie the game, and we came up with a huge stop there. And then, you know, we talk about the stopped extra point too. So lots of big plays by our defense too when it mattered.
Yeah, they were down at the 13-yard line, I think, and you shut them down right there when you needed to. Talk about your line play, both offensively and defensively. I know Mark gets excited, okay, when he's calling your games, and someone makes a big tackle. That's the most fun to listen to Mark, whether there's a big play defensively. And a lot of guys stepped up and did that. But how about the line play both ways right now? And you talked about putting it together with Band-Aids and all that, and I'm sure that's part of it on the line.
Well, it is. You know, that's probably, I mean, hands down, that's the group I'm most proud of. And Conklin, we didn't know if he was going to play this week. He's got a bad hamstring right now. Max Brunn, he's a tough kid. He's got a bad ankle, bad shoulder, bad knee, and, you know, he put a brace on and went back in the game last night. Isaac Mock, I don't know, he's got something going on every week. So, yeah, I mean, even Nolan Field has got a bad ankle. So we are, I don't want to say limping through. These guys are taping themselves together and going out there and executing and playing hard. They're giving us everything we have, and they're going to continue to do that. I have no doubt about it. So they're Ironmen, chosen few linemen, and they're getting it done.
And those are the ones you know about, Chris. I mean, there may be some guys not telling you some things, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So today, you find out who your opponent is, where you play, when you play. Any idea where the odds might land?
Well, I don't want to make any predictions, but I think, you know, we know we're going to play Thursday night. We know we got a short turnaround game. It's going to either be an Alec or a Brainerd. So we're just going to be ready for whoever lands our way, and get ready to go and just do what we do.
Absolutely. Well, what you've been doing is pretty good, so keep it up. Hey, appreciate you coming in. Great job getting that second consecutive section championship, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have the coverage no matter where it is on Thursday night on 977 with Mark Johnson. All right, we'll take a timeout. Remember, text Viking 321-1926 for your chance at winning a $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate. And our Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe, will continue after this timeout.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you love trucks, this ad is for you. At Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, you can save up to $12,000 on select Chevy Silverado trucks, or take advantage of 0% APR for 3 years. Prefer leasing? Lease a Chevy Silverado for as low as $299 per month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Chevy, together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the show. Before I move any further, do want to wish the Otter Cross Country runners a lot of luck today because they are competing at the state cross country meet today. Let's see, we have Cassie Wellman and Carson Will on the girls' side, Micah Mosier and Brody Nelson on the boys' side competing at state. Also, Peter Newark from Otter Tail Central is running, and the Perham Yellow Jackets have both their boys and girls teams down there again. Forever they've been doing that, so good luck to all the area cross-country runners, and we'll catch up with either Derek or Nikki next Saturday morning with a kind of a season wrap-up. And next Saturday, Rachel won't be with us because the Otter swimmers are going to be in War Road again.
Yes.
Get to go to War Road again.
Yes, we do.
How exciting. Twice in the season, right?
Yep.
Rachel Cox is the head coach of the Otter swim and dive team. And, they're getting into the section meet next week. And last Saturday, they were at
St. Cloud Tech.
Thank you, St. Cloud Tech. Yeah, So for the Central Lakes Conference meet, we've talked about it, and I know I bring it up a lot, it seems, but your conference meet is as tough or tougher than your section meet. And you were third in the conference last week, and that's awesome in this conference.
Yes, it was a huge achievement. I never know what we're going to get into when we get to conference. It comes at such a difficult time in our season. The 2 weeks leading up to conference, we are usually piling on yards. It's what we call the grind before we get ready for taper. So we had 6 days of practice in a row. We didn't back off at all. And then we went to that meet. We see that with all the teams, though. I mean, Brainerd was gaining some time, Sartell, like some of these big teams, they're, gaining some time. We had some time drops, but overall, I mean, we just kept placing in great spots. Our 2 freestyle relays got all conference with second place finishes. Yeah. So that third place finish was kind of a surprise. I mean, it was a welcome surprise, but we were kind of watching the scores, and we were kind of neck and neck with Tech, and then Sauk Rapids went ahead of us, and at the end of that relay, boom, there we were, third place.
That's awesome. And with your relays doing so well, are you set? Is your relay team what you put out there last week? I know I ask you this a lot, too.
My girls know we have a kind of a deep bench. We are just going to see what comes on Saturday, and then we'll make some decisions then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That's a fair answer. Talk about Estee Versteeg. I mean, what a year, what a career she has had, and she just keeps doing it. I mean, what more can we say about her?
Yeah, I mean, just an absolutely fantastic season. She's been putting in a few extra yards this week that her teammates are not. So she's there a little bit longer. So we've had some time to talk at the end of her practices. And I just said, you never know coming into that senior year. Sometimes you want it to be really good and things just don't quite fall into place. But that has just not been the case with her. She just keeps having phenomenal meet after phenomenal meet. And I think the state meet is going to be great for her this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. And to earn all conference in, 2 of the most competitive events. I mean, the 200 freestyle and the 100 freestyle. Yes. You have outstanding swimmers in those events every year.
Yep.
And she was second in the 100 and won the 200. I mean,
Yeah. And then, of course, on those 2 relays, too, that were all conference. So every event she was in, all conference. Yeah.
That's a small group of otters through the years, I would think, that have had 4 all-conference finishes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Nobody deserves it more than her, too. Hardest worker in the pool, day after day, she goes in there and she earns those times.
Yeah, that's outstanding. And a number of honorable mentions, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Evie Versteeg with an honorable mention, Riley Kubala, Ella Kwapinski, Ciamara in the diving. Yeah. Just a lot of great finishes. Great swims.
What a great way to wrap up the conference schedule and come into this point of the season now with the section meet, because you had a gap there of practice, like you said, 6 days in a row practice. You got to want it, boy, to go through that at this time of the year. And they are, I'm sure, dog tired right now.
Yeah. And so we started taper this week. So we pull back gradually on the yards. And I had a younger swimmer, so kind of new to the taper process, new to sections. And she said, well, why am I so sore? We're tapering. Why does everything hurt? It seems like it's worse this week. I said, yeah, that's what happens as we start kind of winding down on that yardage. We see kids feeling a little bit sick and everything else. So we're getting that through our system last week. So this week we are going to come in, we're going to feel good, continue that taper so that we are fresh for Saturday.
It's going to be exciting to go back and compete against your section teams. And you had the section true team.
Yes.
So you know what you're up against team-wise. And what are the goals as you look at next week for the Otters realistically? Where are you thinking you can finish? And what's the prognosis for state?
That's always tough. I met with Tom Uvis a couple weeks ago, and just to get some advice, I still reach out, and it's that pull between, do I put together a lineup that gets the most kids as possible to state? Do I put together a lineup that gives us a chance at section champs? And he just said to me, do you think those two are different? I thought, well, with the season we had, I don't know. I don't know if they are different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Some years it definitely is, but you're right, because both are very conceivable this year for the Otters. If the girls go out and have their best swims, you're gonna have to take a motor coach down to the Twin Cities for state.
Yeah, but I have learned that what you see at True Team is not always what you see at sections. So I've come out of some True Team meets really confident for what we're going to be up against at sections, and then you see something different. So we're not going to count our chickens before they've hatched.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So lineup, when you get to making the lineup here. What are you looking at? What are you evaluating, especially for your swimmers who are capable of moving around to a lot of different events? Are you looking more at the competition and what the times are there, or the strength of the individual swimmer that you're trying to find events for? How do you balance that?
A little bit of both. Yeah, absolutely. So I do a little bit of digging to see, where are our opponents, where are their times, what are our times, how do I think we can line up in each event so that we can score the most points. But then when it comes to an athlete like Este, we're kind of looking at, well, where are you ranked statewide? What is going to bring you the most success when you get down to the Twin Cities? So it's got to be a little bit of a mixture of both, and conversation with the athletes, conversation with the coaching staff, like what is going to be our best lineup.
So it's only water, but the venue, you've been there. You've been to War Road already.
Yep.
Does that make a difference?
It does. I mean, the True Team meet is a really great opportunity for the girls to go in, get used to the pool. Sometimes just like the lighting in a pool can be weird, so that the wall feels like, oh, it's kind of shadowy. I got to know where I need to turn. So having that opportunity to get familiar with the pool, familiar with the starting blocks, the walls, like I said, that's a big advantage. So that going into sections, they know what to expect. They feel confident and ready to go.
Talk about Xiomara Jacobson and the year she has had and what her prospects are this next week.
Sure. So diving is actually in Park Rapids this year.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Thursday at 1:30. It will be live streamed. She's going in really strong. She's got a great 11 dive list. She's been adding a few dives with a little bit higher degree of difficulty to help bump that score up a little bit. But yeah, I think she's got a great shot at state too. For divers, it's the top 4 that head on to the state meet. So we'll see what Xiomara's got on Thursday.
So do you take the whole team to watch her dive, or what do you do?
Well, we'll still be practicing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so no rest for us.
No.
We'll have it on. We'll put it up, and we'll be watching her and supporting her from here. And I know that our supportive families will be doing the same.
Now, I know it takes a long time and a lot of hard work for a diver to get to the point that Xiomara is at. It's not like you start one day and 2 weeks later you're in 11 dive protocol here. It takes a long time. How do you rate her progression? I mean, has she gotten to this point quickly, or why has she been able to get to where she's at right now?
Sure. I mean, she's a very athletic kid. She has a background in gymnastics, which is always really helpful when transitioning into diving. But I mean, she took to it really naturally as a 7th grader. She had the advantage of some great mentors in the program who helped her come along. But now as a 9th grader, starting that high school year, I think she's made a really good relationship with our coach, Megan. And so she's learning some new things, but she really is just an athlete through and through. Watching her is really fun because you can just see where she can go in this sport.
Does she, when she's assigned a new dive, does she learn quickly?
Well, that's a question for Megan.
Okay, all right. Yeah, sure. You don't work as closely
Right.
there, but yeah. And then, boy, it's got to be nice to have someone like Megan working with those divers, because you're seeing an increase in the number of people who are coming out for diving.
Yeah, our divers are young this year.
Yep.
I mean, when we graduated Michelle Lamau last year, so you have CO in 9th grade, and then Nora Fear has been diving for us. So she's an 8th grader, but again, with that gymnastics background. And then we have Cami Teisel, and she is a 10th grader, but she kind of dabbled in diving. She also swims for us, and this year she got to do a little bit more diving. So she, again, achieved that 11 dive list as well. So I see our diving program just growing from here.
That's awesome. And it's a long season,
Yes,
obviously. But here you are, you're at crunch time now, and your senior leadership, you're winding up your coaching career with a lot of girls that you've worked with through the years. And what are you seeing from them here at this time of the year? They've been through it.
Yeah, they have. This group, I think more than any other year, is they're kind of quiet. They're quiet. They're a little more reserved, but this is the hardest working group of kids that I've had. And I think they know the goals that they want to achieve at the end of this season. They've seen the success that they've had. So when they get in there to practice, they're pretty serious. Just this week alone, we kind of had some a little bit of goofiness. We're feeling a little bit better because the yards are pulling back. So I did have to remind them, hey, we're going to keep our head in the game. We just got another week to go. But it's a serious group of kids. They have goals that they want to achieve, and I think that they're possible.
So are you going to practice now?
We are actually going to breakfast. So we are going to have a team breakfast at 9 this morning.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, appreciate you coming in, talking about your girls. Great job at the conference meet last week. Outstanding finish, and best of luck in War Road. We'll look forward to of course, we'll have a little hiatus from the Coaches Show, so we're going to have to connect with you on Talking Sports next week, a week from tomorrow, or a week from Monday maybe, to get the lowdown on sections.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks, Rachel.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Rachel Cox is the head coach of the Otter Girls Swim and Dive team. What a season they have had, and it's continuing with a lot of fun to come. We'll take a break. A lot more fun to come this morning. We're going to talk Otter volleyball after this timeout as the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe continues.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you love trucks, this ad is for you. At Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, you can save up to $12,000 on select Chevy Silverado trucks, or take advantage of 0% APR for 3 years. Prefer leasing? Lease a Chevy Silverado for as low as $299 per month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, who at the end of this show will be giving away a $25 gift certificate. And if you'd like to be eligible for that, you can text the keyword Viking to 321-1926. That's 321-1926. I kind of sound like I know what I'm talking about with this keyword thing,
You
but
sure
I have
do.
no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to that. That's why Derek's over there. He handles all that technical stuff for us, right?
Right.
I don't know what I'd be doing if he wasn't here, but Sabrina Noon is here, and we're talking Otter volleyball. Season came to an end.
It did.
With a loss to top-seeded Sauk Rapids Rice this week. Otters had what a season. What a great run. And I think, Sabrina, in talking to you at the start of the year to now, I just feel like your team came so far this year. The progress was evident all season long.
Yeah, those girls, I mean, they're a really special crew. They came in the gym eager every day, ready to learn. Were so coachable, had such good attitudes that it just made the season so fun, and you could just see the improvement game to game as they progressed through the season. It was a really fun season.
I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
What on-court performance or competition stands out? Was there a point in the season where out on the court you saw this team do what you always thought they could do, and you said, hey, they finally are where they need to be?
You know, that is such a great question, because there were so many powerful moments throughout our season that I don't even know if I could narrow it down to a few. I'll try.
Yep.
But when we traveled, our first few games of the season, we were playing some tough teams, and we were hanging with them. We were taking teams to 5. And that is something that it was like, okay, now we just got to find that win. And then we went to the Marshall tournament, and we had a really good showing there. We played the Marshall team tough. It was long rallies with them, and we were doing things that were needed to stay in those games. So there were sparks down there that were just so fun to watch. And you could see as the games progressed throughout the year, the energy just grew within the team. And then when we had our home game against DL, we were down 2 sets. And we came back, and that game was just, I think that game right there kind of made them believers in themselves that they could come back from deficits. And we continued to come back from deficits throughout our season. We'd start down sometimes, and we'd battle back. We'd tough it through. And so then when we went to DL, we took them in 3.
Yep.
And that was another huge point in our season. Like, we beat them in 5 last time, and now we beat them in 3. Then the turnaround with Rocori when we, lost really close sets to them down there. Then they came back here, and the energy in the gym that night was just amazing and full. And so that was another big impact to our season. And then our playoff game with Rocori, I mean,
yeah.
There were just so many big moments for these girls, and our Blocktoberfest that it is really hard to pin it down, but I do believe that maybe our DL game, our 5-game turnaround was the thing that probably gave them the confidence boost to know that they can come back from deficits.
Yeah.
And they did throughout their season. So that was just, I mean, so fun.
That was a great review of the key moments. So thank you. Glad I made you think.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. I could go on and on about a lot of key
You
moments.
could,
But
yes.
yeah.
So against the Storm the other night, the match scores were after the first set, 25-13, then it was 25-18, 25-19.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it, this is a really good team, Sauk Rapids Rice.
Yeah, Sauk Rapids is a really good team. I was, talking to the girls afterwards, and, there are advantages to having a home court advantage.
Oh, yeah.
You're not traveling. You're not, having to stay engaged for so many hours, like getting on the bus and, all of those little routines. It's part of the game. Like, we know that. But, they have its advantages. And then the other part is our girls, they wanted it so bad.
Yep.
And they worked so hard for it. And, in our first set, we struggled. I mean, it was evident that we struggled, but it wasn't for lack of trying, and it wasn't for the lack of the energy. I think our nerves kicked in, and they were trying so hard to do what we were asking them to do that they just overdid it a little bit. And so I can't fault them for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a game of like, where is our talk? Where is our energy? I mean, that was not the issue at all. It was just the wanting it so bad, I think, just kind of took over. And, there's that balance that we were still just trying to find. Game 2, we kind of settled in a little bit more. There were longer rallies. We were making them earn more points. And then set 3 was definitely, much more of a game. There was moments of they were needing to adjust to us. We weren't always on the defense. So it was it's unfortunate that it took till our third set. The second set was good. The third set was much better. But again, that's just the name of the game sometimes. So, but
Right.
I couldn't have asked anything more of them. They were amazing. So, and Sauk Rapids is, our conference is represented very well. Sauk Rapids is heading to state. They had a tough Annandale battle, took them in 5. And then, Sartell from our conference is,
Right.
they played Alexandria in their playoff, and so they're heading to state. So, we faced tough competition all season, and our games were all winnable. I don't know if I can always say that,
Right.
but definitely this year for this squad, they had what it could take. So, it was amazing.
Well, and what valuable lessons for underclassmen to come through this type of a season and see the growth and the confidence building. They've got a lot to build on going forward.
They do. And, it's exciting because we have some juniors and we have some sophomores and we have a freshman.
Yeah.
And, they learned so much from the leaders that are leaving our program, our seniors. What it takes, the commitment, the attitude, and that's sometimes really hard to build into your program. And these girls have been such a foundation in our program for so long that like Brooke Zierden, Rachel DeBrito, Hannah Johnson, Adelaide Grebe, Ava Noon, and then Kiara Anderson was our newbie this year. And they welcomed her, and it was, I can't imagine our season without her as, a first-year player. It seemed like she'd been part of our family for a long time. So it just, I just can't say enough. Proud is such an understatement when I talk about this team and how they are as individuals on and off the court. They're great.
Any of these girls, seniors, planning on looking at playing at the next level anywhere?
Yes, some are.
Okay.
So we're kind of in the works of trying to get that all mapped out. Rachel DeBrito hopefully is going to go somewhere. I know she's interested in playing some college volleyball. There's some coaches reaching out on her, which is super fun. I know Hannah Johnson has some possibilities. Brooke Zier, all of them have possibilities.
Sure.
I think Brooke is going to be going for track. But she has the capability to play. She did a great job this season of really pushing the levels that we were asking them to push. So, I could talk about them individually for hours.
Yeah. Well, and you've got an athletic group there. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not just volleyball players.
Yeah.
They play multiple sports and have multiple options. Like you mentioned, Brooke, she
Yes.
could play college volleyball or track,
Or hockey. I mean,
or hockey.
I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
all of them are just so talented across the board that they could really pick an avenue and just run with it. So
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So you had 2 underclassmen setting for you this year.
Yeah.
Sharing the setting time.
Yeah.
How did that work out, and how excited are you to have them both back with this year's experience in that crucial role?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. A couple things on both of them. So Aubrey, she set for us last year, and, her improvement from last year to this year was extreme. I was, looking at her stats and how she was able to spread the ball across the net. And the awesome part about that is when I was talking to her and I said, it's so fun when you have so many options, because she had so many options. It didn't make her job as hard. Well, sometimes she was like, oh gosh, who do I go to? But sometimes it just made her job harder because she had so many options that she could go to, but she had a lot of different methods. Maddie Brimhall, first year coming in as a major role on our team for setting for us. And, she did a great job. Her attitude this year was so amazing. And she was just like, tell me what I need to do. Sab, get on me. The girls call me Sab. And so she was ready. She was able to take the critiques and the criticisms. And we can be hard sometimes on our setters because it's a huge role and it's a lot of responsibility and it's a huge mental game. Knowing where your hitters are, knowing where their defense is, where their strengths are on the other side. I mean, the setters sometimes don't get enough credit for,
Right.
Obviously, they're like the quarterback of a football team. They're the pitcher of a team. They have to run the court. They have to know so much more sometimes than some of the other players. And a lot of times that gets overlooked. And, but we as coaches know that big commitment and that big role. And, they both seem ready to continue to grow their volleyball IQ and their knowledge of the game. And I mean, that's what you need. You need setters to be fully committed to your program for it to work for your team. So,
well, I'm excited to see what they do in the off season to even get better. And then next year is going to be, a lot of fun like this year was.
Well, yeah. And another thing with Maddie Brimhall, I mean, she's also a hitter. And we didn't use that aspect of her this year because of the hitters that
she had,
and so I mean it's kind of the weighing option of where can we best utilize it in the role of our team, and so there's just a lot of avenues, a lot of
you got
different
a lot of
aspects.
things to think about here in this off season, Sabrina.
Yes.
All right, I have to know, did Renee give you the nickname Sab or who did? Because Renee's the nickname queen. So,
well, let me tell you something. This is actually funny, and I'll tell you. I don't know if you have time for this, but I got this nickname 3 years ago, and they were kind of giggling, and they were like Sab, and they said, "Watch out for Rena," and because my name is Sabrina, and so I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, Sab is." Hey, I'm Sab. I'm, like you're doing the things you're expecting to do. And Rena comes out when we're getting to talking to. And I'm like, well, make sure Rena doesn't come out then. So
I love
great.
it. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. You got split personalities there, huh?
I guess so.
All right. Well, we're going to call you Sab. So,
yes,
all right.
I like Sab.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in and talking about your girls. What a great season.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much.
You're going to build on this for sure.
Yeah,
all
thank you for giving them the attention. They really deserve it, and we love to shine on our players, so it's great.
I'm glad we got to cover a lot of games. Mark got into it. He's loving it, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Sabrina Franny is the head coach. Sabrina Franny. Sabrina Noon. Sabrina Franny is a great athlete.
Yeah, great athlete.
Sabrina Noon.
I don't mind being.
We call her Sab.
I don't mind being mistaken for Sabrina Franny.
Sorry, that's just
okay.
My mind. It's
it is. Okay.
You'll get here someday. We'll take a time out. We will come back. Let's see. Yeah, you got one more chance to text keyword Viking to 321-1926 because after our next interview, we're going to find out who gets that $25 gift certificate. So we'll be right back with more on the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you love trucks, this ad is for you. At Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, you can save up to $12,000 on select Chevy Silverado trucks or take advantage of 0% APR for 3 years. Prefer leasing? Lease a Chevy Silverado for as low as $299 per month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We continue our coaches show presented by the Viking Cafe, talking Hillcrest Comet Volleyball. And Debbie Foss is with us, the head coach of the Comets. Their season came to an end, got beat by Belgrade, Bruton, El Rosa on Tuesday night? Tuesday night,
Seems
yeah.
like a long time ago.
It seems like it was last year. Yep, 3 games to none.
Yep.
BBE, you knew, Deb, they
Yes.
were tough, and you were up against a really good team.
Yep, pretty much knew a year ago that they probably would be in the finals. They're a good team. They play a very fast pace. I'd love to see them and Holly
Oh, yeah.
match up and see how that would go. Kind of a different style, and just, you know, they're just kind of at a different level for us. So it was super sad that, you know, you want to at least have a competitive game the whole way, but it was just so fast. I think we just couldn't keep up with it.
Where did they have their most success against you or taking your game away from you?
Yeah, like, you know, they have like really good outside hitters, so that for sure. And we knew about that and had talked about that. But I would say right after off the bat, they kind of just threw off speed and like tipped to the sidelines, and we just were like not ready for it, and we were just slow right out of the gate. And so that kind of hurt us right away. We were like, oh, you know, I think the girls were like, what's happening? You know, not what's happening, but just kind of like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we had, you know, had a plan for blocking, and, you know, we just were going to favor the outside, and we just, you know, and when the blockers have been playing blocking a certain way and to kind of change their muscle memory, it takes a lot. So,
Yeah.
and they're young in a lot of ways. So,
And not only are they good hitters, BBE, but they keep the ball alive too, don't they?
yes, they do. You know, they had really good blocks against us, and, you know, we had watched as much film as we could find on them. And, you know, film does not show everything.
Yep.
It did not show how fast that shoot set was to the outside. And so they're blocking. And our girls just weren't, you know, necessarily reading that well right away. And so you kind of got to have a quick learning curve with that. So,
Sure. Yep. And of course, in sports, every game is a game of adjustments at some point. Did your team adjust well out there to what they were doing, or once you did adjust, I'm sure then they adjusted? You know, it's just a constant battle.
Yep. So I think, you know, in the first set we were figuring some things out, and then in the second set it was much closer match, and we were like, we thought, okay, we're going to get this, and then we just didn't finish the set out. And so then to come back at the third set, it was just kind of, so we definitely we learned some things, but we just didn't make those adjustments, because they would have been some big adjustments. And we were trying different other people coming in on the right side, and just trying to get some momentum and figure that out because the ball was coming fast. And we're like, just stay there, just block right there.
Yep.
So hopefully Parkhurst can do a better job of that tonight than we did.
Yeah, that'll be a pretty good matchup,
Yes.
won't it,
Yeah.
tonight at
Yep.
Fergus Falls High
Yeah.
School, Kennedy?
Yep.
Who do you pick?
I want Parkhurst.
Yeah?
Represent the conference.
There you
Amy's
go.
Those are good senior class, so it'd be fun to see them battle.
Well, you talk about good senior classes. You've got a good senior
Yes.
class you're going to be missing.
Yes, I'm gonna miss them. It's just fun to see, like say Ella Knudsen. I remember we had our conference meeting. I was remembering her 7th grade year, I think 7th or 8th grade year. It was in the middle of COVID. Somebody was sick, so we were like, well, who are we gonna play? And we were like, let's try Ella. And she just went in and just did her thing, even as a young junior high student. And so it's just been fun to watch her grow. Like, she loves the game of basketball, but she's really good at volleyball too.
Yeah,
It'd be fun to see. She could have easily played at the second level for that, and her power. And I always say this, I've said it before, that a lot of her stats don't really show on paper. Her stuff that she does in the back row, moving her feet to the ball, leading that way, like her team, we really relied on her that way, besides, cranking on the ball in the front row and stuff. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, yeah, and a lot of your girls play basketball too.
Yep.
So this is
Yes.
going to continue kind of, isn't it?
Yes. And so it's really good athletes. And they've been really respectful to stick with volleyball till we're done with volleyball. I think they've really learned that the last 3 years, especially since our our season into the playoffs was longer. And so it's just really good. And so the lesson for volleyball, we're always telling them there's so much you're learning here in volleyball that's going to carry over to basketball.
Mhm.
This loss against BBE was really frustrating for a couple of them. They just were like, I'm so mad. Why can't we do this? And it's well, let's just take that as fuel for basketball. Every practice matters. Every little thing matters. Getting all your teammates better matters to be able to go the distance in the playoffs, because it's not about some of your regular games where you're winning by a lot. You have to always be working on things. So mental toughness.
You played both sports
Yep.
in high school and college.
Yep.
And I think about the difference in sports. Every sport fatigues you in some way.
Yep.
Volleyball, I think it's more mental fatigue.
100%.
And
Yep.
basketball is more physical fatigue.
Physical.
Is
Yep.
that right?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. And just being able to, volleyball, you have to, you finish a play, you need to learn from it, make adjustments, and move on. You
Right.
can't dwell on it. And
Yes.
I missed a serve. Well, what am I going to do the next time? You can't go back and serve the same way. You got to fix it. So
What did you see from the underclassmen this year as far as growth and under the leadership of your seniors?
Yep. So I'm going to start with our setters. They losing Ruby Peterson to graduation last year. We'd been playing a 5-1 and now to switch to a 6-2. And then so, and a 6-2 is good, bad. A lot of the teams that are going on are in a 5-1 because they've got that chemistry that's all the way, the whole rotation. And so our setters Stella, Stella's really smart and she's learning the game. And Brooke is too, and she's quick. And so it's just been fun to see them. And early on we're okay, we want to run this. And they're okay. It was
Sure,
a little bit of
coach.
deer in the headlights. And so early, and we knew right away, okay, we got to scale things back. But man, by the mid-season, end of the season, we were, right back to running the different plays we wanted to run. And okay, you got to get the ball to here. They need it closer. We need it out to the pin. We got to run. We got to get our hitters moving a little bit. Okay. So with that, and then also their defense, we knew teams were going to target them and come at them. And they really, they have handled that well and grown from that a lot. So it's fun to see. Other underclassmen, so Avea Stender has come a long way from the beginning of the season to now, and being able to run. She runs a great 31 with her setters, and so it's just been fun to see that. And her blocking, she was pretty high. Her blocking stats for the season are pretty high, and she just kind of has self-taught herself in a lot of ways on that, and that's the thing. And then we have a play that we call the Avea play. We're Avea, run the Avea, just because she's done it well. And then it's just fun that way. Other underclassmen, so you got to talk about the Retzlaff girls. It's I think they I think Elsa had probably a bigger learning curve this year in some ways, just because we relied more heavily on her. And then people know her more on the volleyball front and stuff. So like she had to learn to get around the block, change up her hitting, and different things with that. And then Elin, as an 8th grader coming in, learning to play at a faster pace. You know, she played right side most of the season. And then when Kenzie Miller got hurt, we bumped her out to the outside. But she had played a ton of outside for us all summer because we would be missing different players. And so she stepped into that role really well. Like, you just would not look at Elin and say she's an 8th grader because she's obviously got some height due to family genetics, but she just wants to learn more and know more. And so, you know, like that's such a big thing. So it's just fun to see where they're going to go and so forth and all that. So
what's your message to them during the off season, you know?
I think just, you know, work hard in the moment that you're in and strive for bigger things. Like, don't be satisfied with what you're doing in the moment. Like, there's always bigger things. And that's just like not on the court. That's in life. Like, you're going to be doing laundry for your family probably someday. Like, don't do laundry to the best of your ability. Like, that's what scripture tells us. So, and you're all going to have jobs someday, and you're going to like work hard at your job and represent, you know, your family, be, you know, all the things, be a good student. I have to say, my seniors are very smart. They're all 4.0.
Wow.
So it's like crazy. I was like doing the stats for All-State, and I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
So
they work hard.
Well, and this, you know, you think about the future for your program. This is going to be kind of that benchmark season, you know, that people are going to say, hey, remember the team in 2025? That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, exactly. So we're, you know, missing Kenzie Miller's big block next year, but we're like, oh, she has a sister.
There you go.
So I think it'll be good, but I think there's like a different kind of rebuilding. You know, you'll come back with some setters, but there's other sophomores, there's some juniors, and then there's some freshmen that are coming up that are it's be fun to see them grow. Like, our C squad was so fun to watch. Like, I coached them back in JO in the 14s that last spring, and just a big learning curve. And then they played all summer, and they had a great season and like really figured it out, and who plays back row for who. And that was like a really fun group to watch.
Great.
So good things coming there too.
A lot of excitement for the future of Comet Volleyball.
Yes,
All right.
Yep.
So you can't retire.
Nope.
Keep it going, Deb.
My family's too invested.
Yeah, great job. You do wonderful work. So thank you.
I enjoy it.
Great to have you in talking about them.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
That's Debbie Foss, the head coach of the Hillcrest volleyball team. We're going to stay with Hillcrest. We're going to introduce you to Zach Nurston, who's the AD, find out what's cooking with Zach. And I might give him a hard time about a couple of things, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll be right back and tell you who wins that gift certificate also, so don't go away.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
If you love trucks, this ad is for you. At Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, you can save up to $12,000 on select Chevy Silverado trucks, or take advantage of 0% APR for 3 years. Prefer leasing? Lease a Chevy Silverado for as low as $299 per month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Program, and Derek has informed me that the winner of our $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate is Doug Stender. Who's familiar with this guy?
Yes.
I'm sure. Zach Nurston is the AD at Hillcrest, and Doug's involved.
Yeah, he is. His son, Andy Stender's assistant basketball coach for a boys team, and JP as well on the football team and girls basketball. So, yeah, he's well known.
There you go. So congratulations, Doug. Thanks for texting. Yeah. And we do that every week thanks to the Viking Cafe and Pat Scholl for doing that. We had breakfast. I hope you got a breakfast, or didn't you?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Viking gives us food every week, and we have hungry coaches, so that's a good thing. So, and hungry announcers gets us going. Well, Zach is the activities director at Hillcrest. We'll start there. He's a 2012 grad of Hillcrest also, and was a very good student athlete for the Comets. Good memories, I'm sure, of those years. But tell us how you wound up back at Hillcrest, first of all.
Yeah, so the last 7 years, my family, we've been in Florida, Sarasota, Florida, beautiful beach area, obviously on the Gulf Coast. Have you ever been to Sarasota?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, try to get there sometime. It's a beautiful beach. Sarasota, Siesta Key Beach, #1 beach in the U.S.
Wow.
At least they claim that. And it is beautiful. It's sandy white beaches. So yeah, everybody's asking, why did you leave? Like, come back to this, And I'm like, I don't know why I did. But it just kind of happened. The job came up. I got word of it. And at the time, last fall, I was at my school. I've been at the same high school, Booker High School in Sarasota for 7 years. I loved it there. It was a great school. But my wife and I, we were just, there's something in us that was starting to kind of get back to the area, get back home here. My wife's from Pelican Rapids.
Yep.
And so we took the leap of faith and applied. I applied and went through the process, and lo and behold, I got the job, and grateful to God for it, and we're glad to be back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have a young family?
Yes. Yeah, 4 young children. So we're in the thick of it, and it's been a blessing.
Future Comets.
Yes,
right
indeed. Yeah, we have 2 at the lower school, our lower campus school. So
that's awesome.
They've been loving it so far.
So now your dad was in this role for I don't know, 3
several
years.
Yeah, it was several years. Yeah, it was. I was trying to remember that actually before. I was like, what year did he take over? Because he was there for a while as our resident director and a few other roles on campus, coaching obviously and all that for years with the softball team and basketball. So I was trying to remember exactly what year, and I'm sorry, Dad. I can't remember what year, but I know it was several years that he was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's given me some insight as well to the job, and I've had help from him a little bit, and then Jess Knutson, who took over last year, interim AD, who
did a wonderful job, by the way,
and she's been great, and she's still assisting me when she can, at least actually a lot. She is, and I'm thankful to her for what she's been doing to just help me transition into this role. It's a big role because I'm not only doing athletics. I'm also over our chapel time. So I coordinate our chapel speakers 3 times a week. I help with our worship team, our student-led worship team, as well as our student council. So there's a few other roles I got going on campus during the day. So she's been, Jessica Knutson's been a wonderful help for me. So,
it's a big job. That is for sure as activities director. Yeah. But what a fall. And way to start your career as activities director. You've had a wonderful season going for a number of your teams.
Yeah, honestly, all of our teams have been great. Our girls soccer team came with a winning record, first time in a long time. And Jeremy Forster has done a phenomenal job with those girls.
Yep.
And then obviously Coach Rod with soccer. The boys, it was unfortunate against Pelican Rapids, but Pelican Rapids, they came out fighting, and they had a great game against us, and kudos to them and John Peter over there at Pelican Rapids and that team. And then, volleyball, as you just talked with Coach Debbie, we were proud of those girls. They were fun to watch this year. I want to say they were a blast to watch this year on that court. Ella Knutson, obviously, and Kenzie Miller. And just some of those sophomore girls that we have, a good sophomore group of girls that are going to come up for basketball as well. And then football. Yeah. I mean, we can't be more thankful than that, to be going to state state champions or state playoffs now, so the state tournament. So we're really excited.
And we find out today.
Yes.
Who they play, where they play, when they play.
Correct. It's going to be any moment here, and I have my phone on me just in case. Because I think Corey Fry is going to let me know soon, Coach Corey Fry, because he's actually on a meeting with them. But we'll get the details very soon. So.
And we'll be there, cover it no matter what or where or when. So, that's been quite a year for them. Now, is there anything fans need to know, the Comet fans, about the state tournament situation, tickets? Is there going to be a bus?
Right. So we're working with bus situation. We're that's what we're working on, if we're gonna get a fan bus or not. That's something we started yesterday to discuss. Tickets wise, it's gonna be $13 for adults, $9 for students K through 12, all online, and that's through the mshsl.org/tickets. You can get it there through GoFan. And then, otherwise, kind of normal state rules for the MSHSL as far as going to games. No artificial noisemakers, no overly large signs, no pets. That's something that they try to crack down on. So just kind of those things to be aware of as we go to the state tournament games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How exciting has it been to have a lot of home games and playoff home games and your fans? I told Corey, I listened to the broadcast of the football game from the Fargo Dome, and it sounded like, you took over the Fargo Dome. I mean, the fans are not only there, but they're vocal, they're supportive. You've got a great fan base.
Yeah, we do, and they came out and supported us big time. I was on the field with the team, so I could hear them loud as well. So Corey's correct in saying that. It was loud. So our student section was great, and all the rest of our fans were awesome, and the parents have been great this year too, supportive of our guys. They put in a lot of hard work this season and the previous 4 years too with the senior group, led by Ethan and Dane and Griffin and a bunch of those guys, Isaac Blaskowski and all those guys. There's a lot of them that have really put a lot of sweat in, and so we're proud of them. But we're also take every victory, with a grain of salt, just being like, this could be our last. The guys have that mindset. This could be our last, even though, they are undefeated.
Yep.
And it's been great. Yep. But you never know. So they go out there and play their hardest every game.
So I've got to ask you, Zach, about your years at Hillcrest. Yeah. What are some of the top memories you have from your involvement as a Comet athlete?
Yeah. So, 2010 comes to mind when we went to the state tournament for basketball. I was a sophomore then. So that comes to mind right away, at least for me. Baseball was my favorite sport growing up, so I played a lot of American Legion baseball too in the summer with Pete Gosted and Zach Rengel and a bunch of those guys from that grade. But I think from Comet-wise, I don't know. I think I remember that year for sure. And then also some of our baseball seasons with Steve Unseth as our coach. Yeah. I appreciated those moments dearly coming up and playing through that program. I think the one game that stuck out to me was probably my last game as a Comet baseball player. We played the number 1 team in state, New York Mills.
Yep.
And we just got done. We had a doubleheader because we had to play the playing game. So we got done beating Nevis in extra innings. We went to, 10 innings, I think?
Okay.
We play 7 innings. Yep. So we went to 10 innings, and we won 3-2. And then we come back, half hour later to play the number 1 team in state, New York Mills. And we held them to 2-0. We lost 2-0. So we almost upset the number 1 team in state, and that would have been amazing. But it's a memory that I'll never forget, and I think our team will never forget that we pushed them. They started sweating a little bit, like, it's close.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
where'd this team come from?
Yeah, where did we come from?
Yeah.
That's right. So it was,
that's fun.
Yeah,
exciting memories. Now I know from knowing your dad for years and working with him that he never went out in public without some sort of New York Yankees apparel somewhere on his body, whether it was, visible or not.
Right.
Are you that much of a diehard Yankee fan too?
I would say yes. I don't know if I know as much as my father. He knows every stat, dates, everything with that. Him and his brothers combined, they know all that. So I'm in a group chat with my uncles and my dad and my brother all the time with all the Yankee games, all the playoff games, all the time. And so it's not to that extent, but like I have my fair share of apparel that I wear, and my sons do too now. So it is carrying on.
Oh boy,
it's carrying on.
All right. Well, the way it is. Somebody has to be a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it's not me. So who do you like in the World Series as long as we're at Game 7?
I know. So that I've been torn. I'm just glad that it's going to Game 7,
Yeah,
to be
me
honest.
too. Yeah.
I honestly don't know who. I think I want, if I'm going to be honest, I guess I got to be honest, probably a little more the Blue Jays, even though I know it's a Canadian team. We always have that struggle, but also like, I don't know.
They're a big rival for the Yankees.
I know they're
too,
a rival for the Yankees, but then you got the Dodgers who've been winning a lot, and it's, I mean, Shohei's amazing. I mean, you got Shohei Ohtani, and that team is amazing. This is a dynasty. It is a dynasty. But I would like to see Vlad Guerrero get one, and those guys, they've put in a lot of time. So,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Zach, thanks so much for coming in and joining us this morning. Good to talk to you, and good luck the rest of the way here.
Appreciate it.
Your first season as activities director at
appreciate
Hillcrest.
it, Craig. Thank you so much.
So let's see. We have Vikings tomorrow at noon on Real Rock Z103. Bison today on News Talk 1250 KBRF. And we'll be back next week for our final Coaches Show of the fall season right here on News Talk 1250 KBRF, presented by the Viking Cafe.
Thank you for joining us for the News Talk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and Running Stitches.